And who knows when the Greens will make their decision about whom their next leader is after Adam Bandt lost his seat. And geez, didn't this weekend people just stop me in the street to express their grief? Well, that race seems to be a three-way one between Sarah Hanson-Young, who would be the person who spent the most time in the parliament, Maureen Faruqi, who, remember, if you attack her, anything is racist. Same way, Sarah Hanson-Young. I can show you the book where she even calls out people like me for commenting about her at all, that they are sexist. And, of course, the super woke, super lefty current Deputy Leader from Queensland, Larissa Waters. Now, I'd love to be able to tell you what any of these people had to say about their pitch, or if any of these people are actually confirming that they are running to be the leader of the party. But guess what? The party that claims to be the most connected to the people, the most down with democracy, the ones who constantly have mass meetings of their party, guess what? Duck egg. Nothing. Zero. Tumbleweed. It's all playing out behind closed doors. Remember that next time they lecture any other political party about how they work. These people, if they have a battle of, two, it could well end up being voted upon by those MPs, but in every leadership change since they became the party that they have become since Bob Brown, a baton is passed. It is not fought over. Watch this space. On Friday, the Prime Minister walked in front of a massive party room. Why? Because there's more than 90 people in there now as MPs for the Labor Party. I'll save you the victory moments. You can watch that on almost every other version of the media right now. But as you know, two ministers were dropped from current ministries. One, the Attorney-General, that being Mark Dreyfus, and the Industry and Science Minister, Ed Husic. He has gone. Now, I'm sure it doesn't help, Ed, that I publicly say that I like the guy, but I like the guy way back when in opposition. We had him on the program often as just a backbench Labor MP who was always honest and open about his opinions. He was also absolute about his beliefs, which means sometimes you come to serious disagreements. But the wonderful thing that I like about Ed in particular is that he sees the humanity in his political opponents, and when you have a conversation away from the microphones, away from the cameras, he is a thoroughly decent person. Again, I'm sorry, Ed. I know that that puts you into a column with Albo, but I cannot lie. You're a very good and decent man. Now, Mark Dreyfus has, of course, been Attorney-General for some period of time. I'm not a fan of how he is publicly. I recognise he's had a very difficult private life after his wife passed away in the past 12 months. So not good, on top of all of that, to be moved on in terms of your political career. Both remain Labor MPs, but they will not be ministers. Well, today, Ed Husic decided to do what very few Labor people do when the machine rolls over them. He didn't go quietly into the night. He had already been booked for an interview on the Insiders program with David Spears this morning over on the ABC. This was before he was dumped as a minister. But rather than pulling out of that appearance, he held on to that appearance, which meant he was able to speak his mind. And it will ruffle feathers. It may cost him future career progression. But this is a guy who's never going to go down without a fight and will always be looking you in the eye when the fight is on.
We've had sort of barefaced ambition and a Deputy Prime Minister wield a factional club to reshape the ministry. I think when people look at a Deputy Prime Minister, they expect to see a statesman, not a factional assassin.
Now, while in terms of all the things that are said about politicians, that's hardly in the outrageous category. But for a Labor person to criticise another Labor person publicly while they are serving in the same government, big deal, big deal. Specifically going after a person who is in the leadership structure, big deal, big deal. Now, Ed says that's basically it. He said what he's going to say, and he goes off to the back bench hoping that his talents will bring him back to the front bench. But we'll all have to wait, watch and see. He also goes on here to say the Prime Minister should have overruled those who decided to push him out of the way because he was a quote-unquote valued member of the Prime Minister's team.
The PM had great authority coming out of the election. I think if he'd exercised it in a way that provided for stability and a strong team that had been there and could go forward, no one would have quibbled about that.
So I was going to ask you about the role of the Prime Minister. Do you think he should have intervened or not?
Well, of course, right? Like, I'm not going to sit here with false modesty, of course.
For what it's worth, Ed, you are always welcome in the man cave. I look forward to you being able to do so now as a backbench MP. It will not impress the boss, and I know you will still be loyal to the cause, but you are always welcome here. He's a good bloke, he really is.